Good morning, everybody, and welcome from Tbilisi, the capital city of Georgia. Tbilisi is a stopover for me. I'm on my way to Belarus, but I couldn't fly directly from Turkey. So I'm going to spend a couple of days here, and then I'm going to fly to Minsk. This isn't my first time in Georgia. I was here a few years ago, and I spent a couple of days here in Tbilisi and also in Kutaisi. So I'm in the center now, in a very nice park. Let's go and have a look around. Very autumnal here. Piles of leaves all over the place. So I've forgotten how much I like Georgia. I haven't been here for a few years, and I've only got a couple of days here, unfortunately, but I'm kind of kicking myself now and wishing I booked more time here. We got some very stocky Georgian looking bloke looking down on me here. I don't know his name. Mr. Squiggle. Oh, there's another plaque here. Another squiggle. So everybody, Tbilisi's absolutely teeming with charm and character. We got some beautiful old buildings and a lot of old interesting Soviet stuff as well. So I'm right on the main drag here in Tbilisi on a busy street, but already I've stumbled across a beautiful church. Classic Georgian style. So I'm not allowed to film inside the church, unfortunately. So we have a magnificent building here. I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming it's a town hall. We got the Georgian flag flying there, and also, rather hopefully, the EU flag. So just to talk a little bit about COVID here in Georgia. I know that for a while this country has been locked down. It's been very hard to get into for foreigners, and maybe Georgians, I don't know. But now it's opened up and you can come here if you're vaccinated or you have a PCR test. And I've also noticed a lot of people wearing masks in the street here compared to other countries I've been in recently. So I've just come from Turkey, and you would imagine Turkey to be a bit more of a stricter country, but not that many people wearing masks there. But here, there's a lot of people wearing masks. So here we have what looks like an abandoned cinema. A couple of films here. Not sure what this one is. Looks pretty old. This is obviously Star Wars, but I don't know which Star Wars that is. So it looks like it's been closed for quite some time. Here we go. This might give us some idea as to when the cinema closed. Deadpool 2. And the clock stopped at 5:47. Here we have the Georgian National Museum. Might check that out later today. And over the other side of the road here, we've got a big shopping center. I've been in there already because I really need a winter coat because I'm going to Belarus soon. And I've only got this coat, so I'm going to freeze my ass off if I don't buy something new. Oh, and guess what? For those of you that saw my Serbian video in Belgrade, I was talking about how all the shopping centers in Europe seem to be called Galleria. Well, we have another one here. Like many capitals in Eastern Europe, the traffic is quite heavy. Here we are in the center of the city. We're in Freedom Square. Big monument there with a fountain that's working even at this time of the year. And a golden horse on top. So I already had my breakfast today, but it was tiny, so I'm still hungry. And there's a cafe behind me called Sunny Cafe. But it's right in Freedom Square here, so I'm thinking it's maybe a tourist trap, expensive. Let's go and have a look. Spaghetti carbonara 18. Yeah. A little bit expensive. I suppose it depends on how big it is. Hello. Do you have breakfast? Are you still serving breakfast or too late?
No, it's too late.
No problem.
12 is everything done.
That's alright.
On like usual stuff, you know.
Usual
European
stuff.
food and some like European food too, pasta and that stuff.
Okay. Alright, I'll have a think about it and come back later. Thanks a lot. Okay, I'm going to keep looking, I think. Any Aussies watching, then you'll know Gloria Jean's coffee. It's very popular in Australia. I remember it when I was last there 20 years ago. Whoa, everybody, look at this, the information center on NATO and the EU. I certainly won't be visiting this place while I'm in Tbilisi. I'm sure if I go inside there won't be anything about NATO's war crimes they've committed around the world. So I think we're on one of the major touristy streets here in Tbilisi. Got a restaurant here that looks like it's closed down. If it hasn't closed down, then it's got very, very dirty windows. Okay, everybody, here we have a nice little Georgian bakery selling khachapuri. Now, to be honest, I really love Georgian food, but I've never quite understood khachapuri. I mean, this thing is basically bread with an egg in the middle, and they're trying to sell it for almost £2. Oh, and this is something I'm going to need soon before I go to Minsk. PCR test. Let's see how much. Сколько стоит PCR?
70 лари.
70 лари, спасибо. So you heard the woman, 70 laris for a PCR test. So in British money, that's it's about 17, 18 pounds, so about 20 euros, which is quite normal from the countries I've been to recently. This looks like Georgian Del Boy and Rodney. Here we are, the current exchange rate. €1 will get you approximately 3.6 laris. $1 will get you approximately 3.1. Here we have a war hero from Soviet times. Unfortunately lost his nose in battle. Les Lidze. Here we have a COVID-19 caravan. So there we go. I think that's the same as the last place, 70 lari. There's a lot of shops that have closed down, and it's not surprising really, because there's a big lockdown in Georgia and tourists couldn't come to the country. So today is a Friday and there's very, very few tourists or even people around here on the main tourist street. Juice bar. 10 lari for a juice, not too bad. Okay, so I found some little street here with lots of restaurants. I think I'm almost certain to get sorted out. Okay, so I've decided not to eat in this street because the prices look pretty high. You had some people trying very hard to coax me into their restaurants. Who's a pretty boy then? Now the naive tourist needs to be aware of these people who try and get you to have a photo with their animals. Got like a monkey, a parrot, and a golden eagle, a peacock. Because you'll have your photo taken with them and they'll say, right, that's $100 please. And if you don't pay, they'll threaten to throw you in the river. So this is a very common situation. I find myself when I'm traveling, I'm looking around at restaurants and I find these tourist trap expensive restaurants and I said, there's no way I'm going to pay those prices. So I keep walking around trying to find something else and I can't, so I end up going back to the tourist trap restaurants. Okay, I'm really getting hungry now. And when Tool Travels is hungry, then he's not a happy chappy. A lot of things are not priced in the centre here in Tbilisi. The price depends on how stupid you look. Okay, so the tourist restaurants in Tbilisi have defeated me. So I'm just going to go inside this place. So I've given up on this place because they refused to give me a paper menu. They had this QR code system and they said it's the law. Although I've been into plenty other restaurants and they've had paper menus. And to use the QR code menu, I needed Wi-Fi. So I had to wait for the waiter to give me Wi-Fi and she wasn't coming. So I'm out of the main tourist area now, avoiding these pricey restaurants. And I'm looking for something normal. But there's absolutely nothing around. And I'm getting hungrier and hungrier and tireder and tireder. I think if I saw a KFC or a McDonald's now, I'd just go there. Okay, I'm going to check this place out. Old school bar and restaurant. So everybody, I managed to get something to eat, and for the third time since I arrived in Tbilisi, I've had the same food. Shashlik, salad and bread. They eat a lot of bread in Georgia. Another issue with finding a restaurant is that Tbilisi has a lot of very old, small buildings. So a lot of these restaurants are about the size of your living room. So when you're walking down the street, you can blink and miss them very easily. Okay everybody, I've just come out of my hotel. I was taking a break and I walked down the hill there towards the city and I was attacked by little dogs, vicious little bastards. A lot of people here, they have dogs as security rather than pets, so they're trained to bark and snarl at people. He tried to bite my leg. So it's certainly a very beautiful cathedral, very impressive, and even more impressive is the view of Tbilisi you get from up here. So that was it from the Holy Trinity Cathedral of Tbilisi. It's very impressive, I must say. Oh, over here you can buy some Lagidza water. I'm presuming that's some kind of holy water. So everybody, I've come towards this big pipe thing. I can't remember what it was when I last came here. Maybe it's a museum. And you can see up in the air there, they've got a big balloon with a Porsche logo on it. And there's people on that balloon and a wire going down to the ground. So it's obviously one of the big attractions in Tbilisi. I'm presuming it's some kind of museum. And by the looks of it, it's closed. I can see a padlocked door there, and the windows look very dirty indeed. So whatever this used to be, it looks like it hasn't been in use for a few years. There we go, another load of people going up in the balloon. Good luck, everybody. And here we've got the cable car going up to the top of the hill. So here we have the wonderful gorge with the tall cliffs there and the river. Another church on top of the cliffs, and also a load of houses. I wonder if anybody has tried jumping off their balcony and straight into the river. Maybe. Traffic is definitely a thing in Tbilisi and in Georgia. Just seems that cars are coming at you from all directions all of the time, and they drive like nutters here. Another thing, they don't like to stop at crossings. Even when it's a red one like this. So I just have to take my life into my own hands. Okay, and here we have something that looks like a bunch of bread ovens. Not quite sure what they are. It's supposed to be a thermal spa. Sounds nice. I could do with something like that at the moment.
It's hard enough in
So I just went for a coffee, and then I realized I left my mask at home, and they denied me entry to the coffee shop. So in one sense, they're taking COVID pretty seriously here. A lot of people are wearing masks on the street, and you know, they've got these rules in cafes and restaurants. But on the other hand, vaccination rates are pretty low in this country, about 30%. So maybe some of my Georgian viewers can explain what's going on. Okay, everybody, I'm going to get my PCR test for going into Georgia. 60 lari, which is cheaper than the last place. So there we go, another PCR test done. £15 approximately. I've had a lot of PCR tests done since COVID started, and the most expensive ones I've had have been in my country, UK of course, but also Serbia. They're extremely expensive in Serbia, talking about 75 euros, and I think I've had 4 or 5 of them, so I spent a lot of cash there. Good morning, everybody. It's another day in Georgian paradise here in Tbilisi. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, blue skies, a lot of sun, and today I'm going to be going to Yerevan in Armenia. Now, Yerevan is just going to be a transit stop because I'm catching a flight to Belarus. So I'm going to be taking a minivan taxi, I believe, and it's going to take about 5 hours. Now, if I think back on my traveling over the last, I don't know, 20 years or something like that, there's been 2 standout car journeys that have been absolutely terrifying. One of them has been in Sri Lanka, where I was getting a taxi from the airport to the center, and the other one was going from Yerevan to Tbilisi. So if you've been to Georgia, you know that the car drivers here are a bit mental. So I don't have very long until I should find this bus, but I've got an hour or two, so I think I'm just going to wander around and see what I bump into. Meow. Meow. Hello. Ooh. Look at that, everybody. I think that's the first time I've actually seen persimmons on a tree. So guys, there's so many tiny little shops in Tbilisi that it's very easy to miss them. I mean, how would you know there's a bakery inside here unless you lived here? Okay guys, I'm right next to the presidential palace here, but right over here we have a much less salubrious looking building. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen the film Hostel, but it's basically about some Western backpackers that go to Eastern Europe, check into a hostel, but then they end up having their internal organs harvested. And I think this is the kind of place it would happen. I mean, would you stay in a place like this? Now, if I think about my time in Tbilisi, there's been just two things that have annoyed me. One is the traffic. There's a lot of cars on the road, and also they all seem to be trying to kill you. And the other one is restaurants. I mean, the food's great here, but there's not that many restaurants. So it's a bit surprising for me because, you know, Georgia is world renowned for its food, and I spent hours here just walking round and round trying to find something. The taxi prices are ridiculously cheap. I almost feel embarrassed using them. I'm getting a taxi back to my hotel now, and it's going to cost me $1. Now, another thing that I've noticed about Tbilisi is there's a lot of police cars on the street. Not just police cars, but security vehicles as well. So I don't know what that's all about. Maybe Georgian people are just very, very naughty. So everybody, my time's almost up in Georgia, and it's a bit of a shame really, because I'm really enjoying my time here. I think Tbilisi is without doubt one of the most charming cities that I've been to in Europe, especially in a dilapidated kind of way. Okay everybody, so my time has come to an end here in Tbilisi, Georgia. I have to take my bus to Yerevan soon. So yeah, it's a shame I've had such a limited amount of time here, just a couple of days. But I think after Belarus, there's not many flight options out of Minsk. So one of them is here in Tbilisi, so I might make another short trip here before I go somewhere else. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look around, and yeah, see you in the next video, and take care of yourselves.